Hello everyone. So this is society session 2. We have already done one session on society. So let's start. So the first topic is, or in fact, there are too many subtopics in this particular topic. So we'll talk about women issues, different what do you say, events associated with women, different topics. Right. First thing first is International Women's Day that is celebrated on 8th March. 2019 theme for International Women's Day, which was set by UN, was Think Equal, Build Smart, and Innovate for Change. So we should remember these themes. So 2019 theme, think equal, build smart, and innovate for change. And what was 2020 theme? Let's see that also. So 2020 theme, hope you can see it. It is, see, this is the theme. I am generation equality, realizing women's right. So theme for International Women's Day 2020 years, which is celebrated on 8th March, is I am generation equality, realizing women's right. So remember these themes. UPSC has a tendency of asking these themes. 2019, think equal, build smart, and innovate for change. Let's move forward. Now, Global Gender Gap Report, very, very, very important report published by WEF. And what is WEF? World Economic Forum. Global Gender Gap Report published by WEF. Now, let's read something more about this Global Gender Gap Report. So, what has happened? What is India's rank? So, India's rank has slipped. So, earlier in 2018, India's rank was 108, but now it has slipped to 112th. So, now currently in 2020 Global Gender Gap Report, India's rank is 112th. And how many countries they are? What do you say? Covering. So they're covering 153 countries, and out of that, India is 112th in Global Gender Gap Report published by World Economic Forum. These are very important points. Keep in mind. Now let's talk about NFHS 4. And again, you can understand we are going in this manner because these are one-liners. We have to know it. If you know it, you know it. Otherwise, you will make mistake. Now, what is NFHS 4? National Family Health Survey. It has started in 1992, and if you see the pattern of it, if you go to the site of this NFHS 4, now you will realize. Let's go to the official site, that there is no pattern that when it will be happening. Like let's see, first was occurred in 1992-93, second in 98-99, after a gap of 6 years, then again a gap of 6 years, 2005-2006. After that, this fourth NFHS has been done in 2015-16. Sometimes it is also written 2014-15 in some articles. So this was a scenario. So you can see there's no particular trend. And now NFHS 5 will be done in 2018-19. So after a gap of again 4-5 years. So what you have to understand is 3 to 4 years actually. So there's no specific trend, but this National Family Health Survey is very, very, very important because it gives an idea about so many different indicators. One of those indicators which NFHS 4 has highlighted towards is this, that 53%, I've written 53% of women in the age group of 15 to 49 years in India are anemic. I understand more than half of women in India in the age group of 15 to 49 years are anemic. What is anemic? That means lack of RBCs. They have lack of red blood cells, which can even cause breathlessness and other issues. The issue can be resolved by iron supplements and among other things. So more than half of the women in India are anemic. 62% of the women are still using clothes for menstrual needs. So these were the major findings. And since we are talking about women-related issues now, that's why in NFHS 4 also we're talking about the issues which are concerning women. So more than half of women in India in the age group 15 to 49 are anemic. 62% are still using clothes for menstrual needs. That is the saying of NFHS 4. Now, this is very important. This menstrual hygiene management guidelines from prelims perspective. This is very important in general also. But what I'm trying to tell you is from exam perspective, this is very important because let's say if I ask you menstrual hygiene management guidelines lies under or comes under the ambit of which ministry? So if you want to take a guess, you will feel that yes, this will come under Ministry of Women and Child Development, menstrual hygiene management guidelines. But no, that is wrong. It comes under Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. So remember this. If I show you a particular PDF, see, NFHS 4 we have done now. So let's say this is Menstrual Hygiene Management National Guidelines, which was published in December 2015. Now you can see here, I will show it to you. See, this is Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. So this whole menstrual hygiene management guidelines, it is a part of Swachh Bharat Mission, and it comes under Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. Very, very, very important dude. I'm trying to make stars, I'm not able to. So let's make it again. So this is very important. Remember it. These points are very important. Cool. And something similar to menstrual hygiene management guidelines, Telangana government, what they're doing is they're providing health and hygiene kits to girls to deter them from dropping out of school. Sometimes these, what do you say, lack in health and hygiene criteria in school also force women to or force girls to drop out from school. So Telangana government is trying to avoid that by providing them health and hygiene kits. Apart from that, what you have to remember is health is a state subject. So that's why most of the what do you say, steps have to be taken by health. Now here, when we're talking about these kind of things, health is a state subject, then immediately one thing which should come to your mind is under which SDG health lies. Health lies under third SDG, SDG 3, which talks about good health. Similarly, when you're thinking like this, you also have to think like health is a state subject. What is education? Where does education lie? So education lies under concurrent list. Earlier, when the what do you say, constitution was being formed, education was placed under state list, but later it was moved to concurrent list. Similarly, you should think agriculture. Where does it lie? It lies under state list. But there is a but here. Contract farming. Tamil Nadu has recently become the first state which has implemented national contract farming guidelines. So contract farming, it lies under concurrent list. So you should be knowing these things. These are important because UPSC can ask these things. So health, state subject; agriculture, state subject; education, concurrent subject; contract farming, concurrent subject. Now let's come back. We're talking about women-related issues. So Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. So this is an act which has been passed in 1971. Let's remove all these. So Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971. This is a very controversial act. Many cases and counter cases have been filed on it. So why it is a controversial act? Because they say this particular act says that it provides you can terminate your pregnancy only up to 20 weeks. Beyond that, if you want to terminate your pregnancy, even beyond that, you have to take permission from medical boards or you have to go to courts and all those things. So that's why it is a very, very controversial issue. This Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 1971. Sabrimala case, we all know. We should know the case judgment also. What was the case name? The case name is India Young Lawyers Association versus State of Kerala, and the issue was regarding celibacy. Fine, and right to equality, right to religious freedom, so many different things are associated with Sabrimala case. Cool, dude. Now let's come back to other topics. In UPSC 2018 PYQ or prelims, there was a question which was asked on this. And see, you cannot read these things, dude. Like, who will go and read NSSO's 72nd round of situation assessment survey of agricultural household and all those things? That's why PYQ is very important. When you see this, now you have to understand that you cannot make mistake if they ask you the same pattern also. Now you can also go and see whether there is another round of situational assessment survey of agriculture household is done or not. So that's why I always go for PYQ. We'll see that PYQ just in a minute. But right now, we'll first of all discuss this particular question. So NSSO 78th round of situational assessment survey of agricultural household was done, and what was the findings? What were the findings of that survey? That Rajasthan has highest percentage share of agricultural household among its rural households. So suppose 100 people are 100 rural households are there. So in that 100 households, suppose Rajasthan has 50. And what is agricultural households? Households which have been run predominantly by agricultural activities. So let's say Rajasthan is 50. I'm just taking an exemption. So this is highest in the country. This 50 is highest in the country. And they have also said that out of the total agricultural households which were there in the country, 45% belong to OBC, other backward classes, and 16% belong to SCs, and 13% belong to STs. Now let's see the question which was asked in 2018. So what was the question which was asked? This question number 3, hope you can see it. As per NSSO 70th round situational assessment survey of agricultural household, consider the following statement. Rajasthan has highest percentage share of agricultural household among its rural households. We have just seen that this is correct. So if this is correct, so we can always eliminate these two options. So we are left with C and D. Of the total agricultural households in the country, a little over 60% belongs to OBC. No, that is wrong. We have just seen it is around 45%, right? So 60% is wrong. So second gone. So you're left with only C. So answer is 1 and 3. So in Kerala, a little over 60% of agricultural households reported to have received maximum income from sources other than agricultural activities. So that is correct. So C is the answer. Now, if you want to see this answer, see, third answer is C. Third answer is C. So that's these kind of questions can also be asked. These are like very tricky questions. So it's good that if you're ready for these kind of things. NSSO, National Sample Survey Organization, comes under MOSPI. And what is MOSPI? Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. They can even ask you these things. Under which ministry it lies. So it's generally easy. All of you can, like most of you can do know about it. So NSSO comes under MOSPI, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. So now let's move on. Let's not waste time. We have so many things to cover. I'm just crossing these things. Okay. So now NSSO we have done. Now, Supreme Court has talked about something called doctrine of progressive realization of rights. Now, what does this mean, doctrine of progressive realization of rights? What they are saying by this doctrine is, they're saying is, suppose you have given a right to someone. Once a right is recognized, it cannot be taken back by the state at a later date. So if you have given rights to LGBTQ, you cannot take it at a later state. Like LGBTQ in this Navtej Johar judgment has been a remarkable judgment for it, which has decriminalized homosexuality now, right? So this thing which you have done now, you cannot take it back. So that is what is doctrine of progressive realization of rights. Cool, dude. Now Bharat Ratna, again, there are many questions, similar questions which are asked. Who has been given Bharat Ratna? Who among the following? So you have to remember C. Rajagopalachari, H. Visvesvaraya. C. Rajagopalachari, he was the last Governor General of independent India, played a crucial role in what do you say, Indian freedom movement. Last Governor General. H. Visheshwaraya, civil engineer. Even a mains question in 2019 was asked on Visheshwaraya. Jayaprakash Narayan, pioneer in socialist movements. Right? Shall I write whole? I'm a very lazy person that way. Okay, cool. So now let's talk about a question which was asked in 2016, UPSC 2016. Global Hunger Index, very famous index, right? We read about it all the time. Who publishes it? International Food Policy Research Institute, IFPRI publishes it. We'll see this particular question, how it was asked in UPSC 2016. And there are 4 index associated with Global Hunger Index, that is, and you will see 3 of them are associated with child. So this is very much dominated by child issues. First of all, first index is undernourishment. There is no child restriction here, everyone. Undernourishment. Second is child wasting under 5. So child wasting, what is wasting? We have talked about it earlier also in different prelims sessions. So wasting is low weight for height. So if you have low weight for height, you will be, you belong to the category of wasted child. Stunting is low height for age, and again under 5 they are considering global hunger index. And child mortality, again, that is under 5. So these are the 4 index. Now we have to also see what is India's rank. Whenever you are reading these things now, always think or always see what is India's rank in these index. So global hunger index, India's rank is currently 102 out of 117 countries. So as you can see here, India is famous for what is it, topping from bottom. And still we are not very focused about these things. We are more focused on communalization of issues and all those stuff. But hunger index, all those things which we have read previously, equality, global gender gap index, that can take place later on. But right now, communalization of everything is very important. So fine, yeah, no issues. Let's not get emotional. So 102nd place we have among 117 economies in global hunger index. Cool. So remember these points. These are important points. So let's go back. Now let's see what was the question which was asked in 2016. So this was the question. Hope you can see this question number 2. Which of the following is our indicators used by IFPRI to compute global hunger index? Undernourishment, yes. So 1 is correct. Child stunting, yes. 2 is correct. Child mortality, yes. So that means the answer is C. 1, 2, and 3. This is the answer. So second question, answer is C. Let's check from official answer key. So second question, as you can see here, the answer is C. So fine here. That's it. We'll give until here only. Revise all these things, revise all these sessions, and stay safe, stay happy, and be blessed. Thank you.